Hi everyone, today I'm going to share how burnout can be caused by overexercising and undereating. I'm going to be sharing my personal story of how I experienced my first burnout. And that's right, I said my first burnout because there was actually two separate instances, completely different circumstances of me burning out. But today we're going to focus on overexercising and undereating and what that looks like to your health. Hi, my name is Erica Eller. I am a certified wellness coach, and I help high achieving women increase their net worth, both financially and relationally, by beating burnout and revitalizing their health. Today, we're talking about my personal experience of going after that ideal body, that slim, perfect figure where there's no bumps, nothing's poking out, everything is exactly where it should be. You are perky and you are tight and you are super fit and lean, right? Is that what we're all going for? Does that sound a little familiar to you? I was going after that ideal body. And after years and years of fighting with my weight, and it actually all started when I went on the birth control pill in 1999. After that, my body was just no longer my own. I had no control, or so I thought, of what my body was doing. And I basically played the weight game from then until 2012. And in 2012, I had had enough. I had had 3 kids. I was not planning to have any more kids. And I said, this is the time for me to just basically reinvent myself. And I am taking charge, number one, of me and my health by focusing in on my weight. And I'm going after that very ideal, fit, Barbie-like-esque type shape. And so what that looked like is I threw everything of who I was into working out. I was working out morning and night. I was waking up at 2:30 in the morning to get to the gym by 3 o'clock in the morning. I was doing a little bit of cardio before weights, an hour of weight training, and then another hour of cardio when I was done weight training. And then in the evening, I was doing more. Sometimes it was just a really long run or some sort of cardio video that I was doing. But oftentimes it was more weight training with a run. And that can only be sustained for so long. And basically, I started hitting a wall. I was definitely losing weight. My shape was definitely changing. I had gotten to the leanest that I'd ever been. But here's the thing. I technically looked the best, but I felt the worst that I ever had. And it was awful. I had also gone through a separation and a divorce in 2012, 2013. I had gone from being a stay-at-home mom with a successful photography business that I had on the side to being a single mom and being thrust into the workforce. I got a job working full-time for a nutritional supplement company, and I had also dove right into a terrible relationship. I don't recommend that, by the way. And basically, I coupled all of that, going through a divorce, becoming a single mom, going to work full time, and then having a terrible relationship, and then coupling that with insane exercise and then under eating. And I was so hyper focused on what I was eating. I was eating a high protein, low carb, zero fat diet, and that just does not allow for any energy to be produced whatsoever. I was getting sick all the time. I was irritable. I was cranky. I wasn't sleeping well, and I wasn't performing well at work. I had just a complete sense of this mental fogginess. I wasn't thinking straight. I was forgetting things. And that's just not who I was. And it was kind of freaking me out a little bit about what I was becoming. And then what I was also dealing with was sickness, chronic sickness. I was getting colds over and over and over. It was taking so long to get over them. And then finally, in 2014, I had a prolonged sickness that kept me home for nearly 3 weeks. And at that time, I had to pause and think, what am I doing in my life that's causing all of this sickness and this fatigue and this overall exhaustion? I am not the mom that I want to be at all. I am not the employee that I want to be. And I was still trying to run a coaching business on the side while still doing some photography. And that was just a recipe for disaster. So I had to literally take a step back, look at my schedule, and see what needs to leave. And the very first thing that I let go of was the exercise and the under eating. I also happened to be working for the foremost expert in adrenal fatigue. And so through my education and my training and working with Dr. Wilson, I saw that I was basically burnt out. I had adrenal fatigue. I had run a cortisol panel to check my hormones to see where they were. And let me tell you, that was a hot mess. What is considered normal was nowhere near where I was at all. So I took a 6-month break from any exercise whatsoever. Basically, the only exercise that I was doing was pretty much walking the dog. Once in a while, I did some yoga, but other than that, there was nothing else. I definitely got rid of the terrible relationship because that wasn't serving me well at all. And I decided to just focus in on my self-care, being the best me that I could be. And that started with eating properly. When you are burnt out, so many people, and we have just this overabundance of people that are scared of carbs right now. When you are burnt out, it is essential that you have carbs and fat along with protein in your diet for energy production. Your body simply cannot create energy if you are missing key nutrients that come from carbohydrates and fats and proteins. So if you're omitting any of that, let me just warn you right now to maybe consider taking a look at your diet if you are struggling with burnout, because chances are that your diet could have a huge impact on your recovery. So through time, working with Dr. Wilson, working with some other practitioners to help me get back on track, and really being okay with the way that my body looks. And I won't lie, that was a huge work within my mindset that I had to accomplish, because everything in society is saying if you don't look a certain way, then you are not worthy. And that's a hard thing to change when you've been looking at that or thinking that for so many years. But what I realized is that my overall outlook on my health, it's going to impact my future generations. And I have a daughter. And what was the example that I was setting for her by being hyper focused on an ideal body image for me? So through the past 4 years of really just honing in on what does healthy look like for me and how do I avoid burnout, that's been trial and error. It's a practice. You never arrive. But what I do know is that as we search for an ideal body and we do things that are more detrimental to get to it, it's not going to pay off in the long run. So I'm going to be sharing my story in another video of my second burnout that was totally different. And you'll see why when I share that with you. But today, I really just wanted to focus on burnout for overexercising and undereating, and that you can recover, but it does take some intention in how you are treating your body and how you are feeding your body. If you are thinking that maybe you might have some of the symptoms of burnout, I have a download for you, the 5 symptoms of burnout. It's going to be linked below. Download that, take a look, And I think that you might be surprised at what may seemingly be harmless things that you feel like you're experiencing. That's getting you to a path of burnout. So download that, take a look, and today make steps towards your health and your revitalized recovery. Thanks so much. Talk to you next time.